You intentionally poisoned your mother against IPAs. You sent her in for an 80 IBU IPA. No, poisoned her.
What was his name?
Yo! Happy Kansas Day!
Cheers!
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh,
still drinking milk stouts. Steven, I have not seen the Ted Bundy one, but I've heard a lot about it, and I'm quite intrigued by it.
Hidden cameras, I watched those. They're fucking crazy.
So, welcome.
This one's Wilcomb's choice.
This is.
Are we ready for review yet?
Can you just say welcome?
How do you say welcome?
Welcome to my house.
Welcome.
You just said my name.
Welcome to my home.
He literally just said my last name correctly. It was like it was a struggle. Like, there's an E at the end. It's like welcome.
Hey,
welcome.
Do I make fun?
Oh shit, we're like 5 minutes late on this.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes.
Review
today you said stop being a freeloader.
Oh, there it is.
There was.
Review the beer.
Now we're starting to clip.
When he's angry.
I'm glad I'm watching audio.
What's up, Kim? So I was diagnosed with a speech impediment young in life, and I had to go through the bullying and the difficulties associated with that for years. I want to just thank you for reinforcing that behavior.
What behavior?
Is this real right now,
or
or is
the way that I say "Wilcom"?
You're
Shit.
You're so full of shit.
Well, if
That
it makes you feel
Even if
any
that
better,
story is true, fuck you, Kate.
Bully
You deserve the
behavior.
bully.
this is not what I expected when I bought the pale ale. It
More
tastes.
hoppy?
Yeah,
You expected more.
I expected more hops. It's more like a brown ale almost.
I was gonna say the same thing.
No, but I mean, it doesn't taste bad, but it's just not what I was expecting when I started drinking it. I actually really like it, so that's good.
Sorry, I was cleaning the taste out so I could drink more.
Which is really good, because if it was 2 times in a row, I picked the beer and I rated it the lowest on the show.
Yeah, that porter you gave like a 3.
Oh
or 2.
god, and it was funny because didn't I have it the next week?
Disco,
and I was like,
wasn't it?
yeah, Death by Disco, and then I gave it like a 5 the next week. Still shit.
But you were like 9 extra beers in.
I was loaded by that time.
Because we opened the fridge.
Shut up,
today,
Jason. Give this fucking review. Continue.
No, but there's not really anything that just kind of sticks out about it. But it has a bit of a bitter aftertaste, but it's very, very subtle, so it's not like it kicks you. It doesn't feel like the huge IPA kick at the end. But if someone were to give this to me at the party, I would drink it again. So if someone gave it to me with a 6, yeah, solid.
So you wouldn't buy it again?
I wouldn't go out of my way to buy this.
When there's other options that you like better.
Yes, I would go with a Boulevard Pale Ale before this one.
I can't remember last time I had a Boulevard Pale Ale.
I don't think
I would go with a Dale's Pale Ale. Actually, I would go with the
How do you like a Dale's?
the PBR Pale Ale before I went with this one.
Did you say that you do Dale's Pale Ale because they've been serving it at Old Chicago?
I had that the other day because it was on my tour.
Almost any time that there's a Dale's as an option, I get it. I like it.
Yeah.
Dale's
It's
is
a
good beer.
You got it at Wild Wings.
That's true. Yeah.
For some reason, it just reminds me of the Old Chub, and I don't know why. And I started to taste that flavor
It's the same
again. And I'm
brewer.
like,
It's the same.
No.
It's the same brewer.
no. Oh, I know.
And probably the name.
Yeah.
Dale's Pale Ale, Old Chub.
Reminds me of Dale from
Dale probably has no
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Damn it, Bobby!
Don't bother. Jason?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, it's me? I will absolutely agree with the assessment that it tastes like a brown ale. That was the very first thing I noticed. I was like, I bet you this has a dark pour, and it doesn't. It's actually a very light pour. It's surprising all the way around. The hoppiness to this is actually in the finish.
You get any grapefruit?
I don't. Are you being serious right now?
No, like I get a little bit. Like it's very mild, but I get a little bit of
Oh
grapefruit.
shit! Let's try this.
Now he's gonna read.
I'm getting feeling like amber-ish.
That's why I thought brown. Because I was like, oh, brown ale and amber ale, they're all kind of the same, or at least in the same. No, I don't get anything fruity. I mean, I do get like an earthy, a nutty,
With time.
but with time.
It'll subtly overcome
No,
your
well,
palate.
Jason's palate is...
It'll
This
subtly
is the
overtake
same
your
guy who's
palate.
like, I'm going to chug ranch.
It's crazy that a year
Give me
and a
some of that
half,
avocado lime.
into this show, we haven't had this beer though.
Oh, I don't think so. I think we avoid a lot of the things that are always around.
Right.
So anything
And
that's
Neff had
seasonal.
But still, there's just so many beers.
Neff had a vendetta against Kansas territory for
He
whatever reason.
did.
He talked so much shit on them. I think he had a bad experience.
I want to say it was the Summer Breeze, the lemon shandy thing that they have in the summer, which isn't really a shandy. So, but it's not that hoppy at all. I would actually be curious to see what the IBUs on this are. I bet it's probably under 50.
30 to 40-ish, I'm guessing.
I would assume, but it does taste like a brown or an amber. It's got that kind of whole taste to it. This is very drinkable. It's not bad at all. I would agree with Nate. Actually, what do you prefer? You prefer Wilcom? You prefer Nathan? Do you
I've gone by
prefer
both
Nate?
my entire life. All through high school, I was Wilcom.
I will agree with Casey Hat that
25
this
IBU.
is, yeah. Oh, then it's
Pretty close.
super low. Okay,
Pretty close.
great.
Great.
But I mean, that would explain a lot why it doesn't finish with a lot of that hoppy flavor. I wouldn't buy this just because it's not a flavor that I seek, but I would never turn this down. Which is what sucks for this is it just isn't in my range of things that I prefer, but it's great. So I guess 6.9, like it's right on that cusp.
You know, it's
great.
It's almost exactly like not flavor wise, but how the life coach is as far as like domestic beers. Like it's there and it's a great option. But if you're like going to walk up and say, all right, which one am I going to buy? You're probably not going to choose it over another one. But you would still like if that was at a party and someone was like, yeah, you know, I would definitely drink this.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to say the cost factors into that too. This does have a standard craft beer cost, which is like $8.99 a 6-pack.
Yep.
Those are your
Because I'm
friends.
watching that.
Those aren't everybody. So I get a really subtle kind of hint of grapefruit. Apparently I'm the only one who is experiencing that, but maybe I'm just thinking about grapefruits.
Is it because I mentioned grapefruit shandy earlier, and you were looking at that grapefruit IPA?
I was looking at the grapefruit IPA.
Are we going to have a grapefruit IPA next week?
I think so. Well, if we can find it. They didn't have the one we were looking for.
I got to make an early morning drive to Wichita, so...
This is really smooth, and I'm kind of surprised by that. I don't really get any hop character from it as far as aroma or flavor that I can distinguish, but some hops do kind of have grapefruit style flavor, so maybe that's what I'm detecting. It's a good beer, though. I mean, I do agree that it's not extraordinary in any single facet,
But it's solid.
but it's smooth. It's drinkable. It's enjoyable.
It's actually a perfect beer for the weather, too.
It is.
It's making me cold though.
Dude, this would be a great beer with a steak.
Yeah.
I think this would be...
I'd also drink this with spaghetti, Charlie.
Do not like green eggs and
I
ham.
was going to say...
Do not like them, Sam I am.
I would have this in a box and with a fox.
I think maybe if I'm just looking, looking for a beer that I haven't had in a while, and I see this, I'll get it. So I would buy it again. It's not going to be my everyday buy. So I'll give it a 7.
I agree with that.
Nice.
Ooh, my girlfriend's one. Hi,
Wait, that can't be your whole review, can it?
No.
Okay, great.
I was about to say, wow.
I
You really-
agree with.
It's like, fuck all you guys. You talk too much.
It'd be every once in a while if I can't decide what I want, I'll just go with this type thing. I haven't had a ton of Kansas Territory beers. The Roller Chain kicked ass. I get that every once in a while.
I do too.
I could still see me getting this every once in a while, so I'm kind of interested to see what else they have out there. I think I've had the Time Portal, and it kicks ass too.
Oh, the Time Porter was good. It is a brown ale, though, isn't it? It's a breakfast ale.
That's a breakfast, yeah, something.
Well, I've had the Wind Wagon, which is an IPA. but I don't remember anything about it.
I do get kind of a hoppy or bitter taste along with a mouth-watering beer. So it's not overly dry, but it's not overly just wet either. It's kind of a mixed combination. I think it's kind of an amber-tasting beer. They said brown ale. I kind of along the same lines. I'm going to give this an 8. It's solid.
Nice.
Even for being expired, it's still holding up.
Dude, don't trust expiration labels.
It's not that I give a shit.
They
Well,
all
slide in my DMs.
lie.
But for a pale ale, it's up there for me. It's what it is. It's a pale ale, you know, a little bit of hops and just a solid beer.
If it passes the sniff test, it's fine.
So it's not an expiration date. It is a best buy date. And the manufacturers actually do that on beer, not because it's going to expire, but because a lot of those ingredients will start to change their flavor profiles. So, I mean, that's something to note with this. I don't think that it's that far out.
And if you're looking to venture out into craft beer a little bit and eventually enjoy an IPA or something, this is a good starting point.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that.
And it's Kansas Day, and this is brewed in Washington, Kansas.
Washington, Kansas.
They have a little tap room. I've been there. It's pretty small, pretty humble, but they make pretty good beer.
There's probably a sunflower field out back too.
Jason, this is your beer. You have
To the stars through different.
you have 2 minutes.
I have 2 minutes. It's more than I'll ever need.
So basically, challenge yourself to not be a piece of shit is our state motto.
Oh, I thought you meant for the 2 minutes I had. I was like, well, goddamn.
No.
That was harsh. That was real harsh.
I'd ask for a
Well, you too, man. God.
in layman's terms.
Don't be a piece of shit, motherfucker. Speaking of pieces of shit.
No, go for it.
I don't know where that was headed, but I'll cheers it.
Oh, no, sorry.
So this is a minor sour flavor to it, which I kind of actually expect out of something like this from Oskar Blues. I just now noticed it says crisp as fuck.
Crisp as
Really?
Crisp AF, yeah, sure does. The hibiscus, I believe, is what lends to some of the dry. It's down at the very bottom of your can. It's what leads to.
Oh, gotcha.
I believe the hibiscus is what leads to some of the dryness in the end. That prickly pear gives it a little bit of that sweetness, like right in the middle.
When in doubt, pinky out.
Is that what
does
you're
say
doing?
that.
Does it say that?
Yeah.
Oh
Yes, it
man,
does.
especially with your little snifter glass.
Yeah.
I really like this. I think this is very easily drinkable. It doesn't hit a sour note for me. It doesn't hit an ale note for me, but it doesn't hit a bad note for me either. This is extremely mild all the way around. It's lightly sweet. It's lightly sour. It doesn't have a lot of beer flavor to it. It doesn't have any hoppiness to it whatsoever. I bet you the IBUs on this thing are under 15. I mean, there's nothing to it at all. This is very, very easy to put down. And it's 6% ABV. I mean, this thing is
It'll knock you on your ass.
delicious. It is delicious. I would absolutely buy this again. And this is the kind of beer that I would keep in my fridge to introduce people to. It is, I would say, wonderful, but not in a... Oh, 38. Holy shit. I'm way wrong there. How in the world is the Kansas Territory one more hoppy than this?
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
It is not a measurement of hops.
No, it's a measurement of bitterness, but I don't taste bitterness with
They're
this.
not
It
mutually
doesn't
exclusive.
finish bitter.
Right.
It doesn't finish bitter at all for me. This actually finishes. I mean, rosé is generally a bit dry in the end. This doesn't finish dry for me. With that in mind, in my 2 minutes coming up, I'd go with the 7.5. I'll buy this again. It's not something I'd seek out, but I'd buy this again.
He finished right at 2 minutes.
Boom!
Just for you, Tate.
Oh.
Just for you. Would Sarah like it?
I think so.
She'd like this.
She'd like it.
She'd like it.
There you go.
I'm going to go next just because I decided to.
Please do.
We're all looking at you anyways.
This is very much like a rosé wine in that it's got that sweetness to it. It's not overwhelming.
You like a little bit drier wines, though, too.
I like dry red.
I know it tastes vinegary to me.
I mean, it's like a wine beer hybrid. I mean,
not like the Rubeus is. I mean, I mentioned that already this evening, but it is a.
This is less. This is more moderate than the Rubeus. The Rubeus is sharper and sweeter.
Oh yes, but not overly sweet, which is weird for that.
Not overly sweet, but this is mellower. It's not as sharp.
Much.
Very much cherry. It's very drinkable. It's not heavy. You could drink several of these, and it would be.
Would this go with spaghetti?
Yes.
Anything goes with spaghetti because spaghetti is a noodle.
I actually think this would be pretty good with spaghetti.
It probably would be. I'm just thinking of the peanut butter chocolate porter thing that he has in there.
Go with spaghetti!
It's crisp. It's got a crisp finish.
Crisp as fuck.
Says so.
Chris AF. That was a little bit of, this is a rosé ale brewed with hibiscus and prickly pear. But I don't know if you can really call this a beer.
I knew something was coming.
Jason always making us drink this shit.
6%, 38 IBU.
Made of fucking flowers.
I knew it was coming. This is not a beer.
It's got alcohol in it. Yes. It's in a can. Yes.
It's based on an
put this
ale.
through the fizzle.
Yes.
So.
It tastes more like wine. This tastes.
Really, you think this tastes like a wine? I don't get any. So wine generally carries very different characteristics. This does have a lot of beer characteristics.
I get more of a champagne flavor, and that's what my review
I can see that.
Okay, I see
that carbonation.
Yeah, I totally agree, Chris. Jason, you couldn't be more off the left field.
I couldn't be more wrong by buying a beer in a beer section at a store that sells beer from a company that brews only beer, but no.
So the line,
it's not a beer.
With all these beers that people are doing.
I'm sorry, it's not an IPA.
The lines are becoming gray.
Gray.
You can now buy wine in cans. They sell wine in cans, and this is kind of like a wine in a can. I mean, there's nothing that I can find that would necessarily be a detriment or a negative critique to it.
So what is your score?
Everything's nice. I mean, it tastes good. I just can't say that it's a beer.
Like you like it.
I do like it. I enjoy it.
What do you rate it?
So the carbonation doesn't lend itself to wine. I mean,
taste, it gets a 9. As a beer, it gets a 1.5.
1.5.
So
that averages to a 6.
There is sparkling wine.
There are
like champagne.
No, sparkling wine is champagne. Sparkling wine does not exist.
The controversy.
Your ad for Fraser Motors was not approved.
Sarah, I think you would like it. I believe it's good. I will give this a 7 as well.
Oh,
it's good. It's so far from what anybody who grew up drinking beer thinks of as being a beer.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the whole craft beer movement.
If we were going to rate this as a political movement, it would be a left-wing beer. A left-wing beer.
Really? I don't know. I think of... Oh, man. That's really hard.
It is straight to the core.
I always think of Tate as left. But I could see him being the most right of the left people.
That is it. I find the extreme left more distasteful than the extreme right. They're crazy.
We're reviewing beer right now. Y'all can get political in about 10 minutes.
These civil justice warriors.
I made it
social.
Whatever.
All right, Chris, it's your turn.
This beer, its name is badass. Its can's pretty badass.
It's got the 80s neon.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's almost like the champagne of beers. Fuck Miller High Life. Like, this is way more of a champagne of beers than Miller High Life. They shouldn't even get that slogan. There's no way. It does kind of taste like wine. A little bit of a rosé, dry wine or whatever. Not like some Zinfandel or anything. It's definitely drinkable. It's a summer beer, I think. Like poolside type.
I think this would be great for River Festival.
Yeah. Any hot weather, humidity, this is probably a go-to for me.
You know what? Like my wife makes what she calls summer brew.
Yep.
Where she
where
she combines a bunch of shit with vodka and some other things, and like
it's usually like a 30-pack of beer.
That
and
would be a good addition to it.
It also almost gives me a introductory Gosa vibe because it feels salty.
That mild sour.
Yeah.
Okay, and I get a little bit of salt.
It's like some salts there.
Or maybe it's salted corn nuts. But
I don't really have any complaints. I got a sweet tooth, and this kind of hits those notes. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I'd probably buy it again. It's hella drinkable. I could probably drink a 12-pack of it, even though it would get pretty sweet after about 6 or 7, I bet. But it's light. You could do it.
So upon first taste, I was very thrown off, and I think it was just because of the aeroplane still.
Don't let the dark can throw you off.
Yeah,
it's not dark.
It's very light.
Yeah,
it's very light. The color is
Regardless
actually
of
really
color.
cool. Like,
it is a red amber mix.
It is. But yeah, the first drink, I don't know if it was just because I still had the airplane on. She just say give it 3-4 drinks before you making it. And the more that I drink it, the more that I not only appreciate it, but I like it. And you guys have all pretty much hit on every part of it that you can.
So it sucks to go
last. And just copy everything that you guys say.
What did we miss though? Anything?
Honestly, I think every perspective of it that you guys have each hit plays a part into it. The only thing that I would say, and I'm going to take one more drink.
Nothing original, like always.
Will come.
Nothing original will come.
No, but I really like this. I get the dry sense from it. I get the salty, the sweet.
No, this guy was salty. Look at me.
This guy was salty.
Of all the flavors in the
You're
world,
sweet.
I choose to be salty.
But I said the beer was salty.
But I don't have anything else to expand on it. I would definitely drink this during. I think Room Festival is a perfect thing to say. That this would be you're out there in the sun and
The Brews Bros block party.
Brews Bros block party would be perfect for this. This would be one that you take and you throw in the cooler, throw in a slip and slide. Wow, and you're in heaven.
Bounce house.
Bounce house.
That's right.
The block party will be happening again this year.
But yeah, I would give this an 8. I would definitely,
as long as the show's still
buy this.
live at that point.
In the summer, I would be out there.
Regardless,
Chris just drops a super dark note on it. So
Don't even
still like that
just
one.
pass by it.
Dun dun
Am I
dun.
the first one to
What'd you
break the seal? Is
I
that
gave it an
what's happening?
Yeah,
Yes, you are.
Holy shit.
7, 8, 5, 8.
Biatch. I think you gave it 5.
Did he? Jason, what'd you give it?
I think you gave it 7.5.
Oh, never mind.
So average of an 8-ish.